So last week I was meeting this tenant, handling, potentially wanting to rent one of the apartments that I'm trying to rent out. So yeah, so I had some interaction with him, and I thought one of these things, one of these questions that has always popped up, not all the time, but it has popped up before. Okay, ultimately, as my title, I want to share with you guys today is, should the landlord sign the LOI first, or the tenant should pay the deposit first? Okay, so I'm sure the seasoned landlords out there, I'm sure you have met some of these kind of requests. Usually, no, I'm not going to say where they come from. I'm not going to say who they are. Okay, but usually they are not foreigners. Okay, anyway. Okay. Anyway, so what happened was, yep, as per the question raised is, who, the tenant asked like, can the landlord sign the LOI first? So we prepare the LOI. We were discussing what are the terms or what are the requests. Okay, and then he was asking like, can the landlord sign the LOI first when I asked for the 1 month deposit? Yeah. So as usual, I was a bit, I don't know what's the word to use, stump. Yeah. So it's like, in my head, I was like, okay, there I go again. I need to like explain the whole thing over. Okay, but anyway, I did. So the question or the answer to this question, right? Whether the landlord should sign first, or whether the tenant we should pay the deposit first. So when the tenant comes over and asks you, say, hey, can you get the landlord to sign first? What if I transfer him the deposit and then he doesn't want to sign, and how am I going to get my money back, and that kind of thing. Okay, I'm not trying to not trying to say anything. I'm just saying, let's go by what is actually making sense here. Okay, so the answer, okay, should be, I just put out this statement for you, right? In contract law, consideration refers to something that has value, and when you put up a LOI to a landlord as a tenant, when you put out a LOI to a landlord, right, it has to accompany with a consideration. Okay, so look at the definition there. It simply means a consideration has to be something that has value, and usually the only thing that has value in our common eyes is money. Okay, so it's a deposit, it's a cash deposit, or check. You can write it in a check in the landlord's name. So the answer would always be, okay, when you write the LOI, you accompany with this deposit, like it or not. Okay, and because now is, we don't really back in the old days, maybe there are more checks and all that, right? Writing checks and then you pass the physical check to the landlord. Okay, now most of the time we just go by bank transfers. Okay, so the LOI, as I mentioned in my last video, right, the last Facebook live I did some time back, the LOI has a period of validity. So usually it's about 7 days, it could be 5 days, it could be 3 days, it could be any number of days both parties agree to be. Okay, so within this period, right, this is the period where once the LOI is offered, the landlord has this duration to sign off on the LOI upon receiving the deposit. Okay, so the deposit must be received first. If not, even if the landlord pen it down, sign it on the LOI, physical copy, soft copy, whatever, right, it doesn't amount to anything. Okay, you don't trust me, go and find out, go and read up. Okay, it doesn't amount to anything because there's no deposit received. Okay, so as a so-called practitioner for the past 10 over years, right, it doesn't make sense. Like, if I get a LOI sign and then return to the tenant, and there is no deposit thereafter, right, it's just a total waste of time, just a very meaningless exchange of documentation. Okay, so just remember that when you offer LOI, it has to come with a consideration, and as I stated, it refers to something that has value, usually money. Okay, cash, or rather not cash but money. Okay, and one more thing to note is, if from a tenant, when you're offering LOI, right, or sometimes when you have an agent representing you, right? Okay, never, 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 ever, ever pass cash money that you use to buy hawker food from the wallet, that dollar bill. Okay, don't ever, ever sorry, pass that kind of cash dollar bill to your agent. Okay, the agent is also never ever allowed to collect deposit in that form on anybody's behalf. Okay, this is definitely a case of conflict of interest, or potentially, uh, agent making use of the money for its unintended purpose. Okay, but that's another story, another day. But this is just a note that I want to make sure everyone drills it in, everyone get it in and understood why we do certain things in a certain way. So to all tenants out there, if I repeat again, if you want to offer LOI, make sure it comes with a consideration in the form of the deposit. Okay, same for the TA, because once you sign the TA, again, you have to put up your, whether it's another month of advance rent or 2 months if it's a 2 years lease. Okay, so again, put up that additional 1 or 2 months to the landlord first before the documents get signed. So in order to make it a binding contract, in order to make it a legitimate tenancy agreement, okay, the consideration in the form of deposit must occur first to the landlord. Okay, so that's my last conclusion statement. Without deposit, there is no consideration. Therefore, there is no binding contract between the two parties. Okay, so if you have any more further questions, whether it comes to rental or whether it comes to buying and selling, right? The technical procedures of how to get a tenancy rental in place, okay, properly done. Okay, just drop us a message. We'll be more than happy to hear from you, and I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye bye.